Brown combined for 76 points in a college game. Two guys. You just don't hear that in a 40-minute game.
I'm here for it. If they want to do a repeat performance today, I'll sit here and scream and yell for the next 2 hours on it.
You mentioned Brown hitting 10 threes. Only happened 16 times in college basketball history. Driving into the lane, backing it home is Isaac Williams, who was put in the starting lineup 4 games ago, and Baylor has looked like a different team.
Yeah, 12 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover against BYU.
Brown with a jump stop and throws it away, trying to kick it out to Conwell on the perimeter.
If you haven't watched Baylor this season, quick little mini scouting report on them. They've got a lot of players that have similar traits. It's not a great three-point shooting team percentage-wise. They're pretty solid, but they don't make a ton of them. They want to get downhill and try to get you caught in a little bit of rotations and score in the paint off the bounce if they can.
Nice cut by Powell with the slam, and the great dish by Isaac Williams.
And to that point of the scouting report, the first 2 buckets, one have come off a dribble penetration, the other one is on a screen and slipping and rolling to the rim. Great find. Louisville, on the other hand, man, they're an analytics freak as far as offense goes. They can really stretch you from the outside. Top 10 in the nation in made threes, and then they score with great efficiency in the paint.
Zananda Frew on the other end with the dunk for Louisville's first basket.
Think about this. They shoot 60% of their 2-point field goals they make. That's 9th best in all of college basketball. And you couple that with the fact that they make the 3rd most threes per game. It's a potent offense.
They've scored over 100 points 6 times. That matches the school record. They're 16th in the country in scoring. Shot clock down to 5. And Williams lost it, but it was touched last by Louisville. 4.2 to shoot.
2 teams have been able to find space in the rim. It's slipping the screen. That just beautiful slip screen by Powell. And then the same thing right back at the other end. Everybody's hugging their man on the weak side. That's part of what works for Louisville, and what opens up their paint is you got so many good shooters on the outside. You got to hug and stay closer.
Yesufu has to hoist with 1 on the shot clock. He missed it, and it's rebounded by McNeely.
Searching for the foul there. You just need to go up and shoot the shot.
Conwell. His shot, and 1 and done for Louisville. Good block out, Agben. He'll put it on the floor and drive on McNeely. Got caught under the basket. Williams drive and kick. Carr for 3, no. And Powell trying to throw it out of bounds off of Conwell. It did touch Conwell last.
I love Caden Powell and the energy he's starting to bring for Baylor. Right? Just aggressive, gets himself in the right position, throws it right off of Conwell's leg, who is already established out of bounds. This is a team for Baylor that's needing a little bite on their back line. And they don't have a lot of bite. They're not a great shot blocking team.
This is interesting. Louisville is going to challenge.
I think what they're thinking, and if you go back and look at it, Powell.
Now just saying that it was not discernible whether he was out of
bounds. Which is what we saw right away. I mean, you and I looking at it thought the same thing. I mean, this officiating crew is very experienced. They're going to go with the same thing, and they also trust their call a lot.
Carr can't hit the pull-up from 12.
But to the point, this is what's important about those guys behind the bench now in college basketball. They have to be right. Because now Coach Kelsey's without a challenge the rest of the way. He's going to tell Steph, why did you tell me to challenge that when we can't afford to lose that? You lost the timeout and the ability to challenge for the rest of the game.
Brown driving. And high arcing scoop won't fall, but an offensive rebound by Frew. Now Conwell drains a 3, and Louisville has the lead.
You give up offensive rebounds, just realize if you leave and turn your back to where your man is, they're going to find him on those kickouts. They get a lot of kick-out threes on offensive rebounds.
Conwell leads the ACC with 82 made 3-pointers on the season. Entry pass, Yesufu, and a foul called on Hadley, and Yesufu immediately grabs his left lower leg.
That's where they want to get him, as we talked about in the open. They love to get him to that post-up situation. He's a big guard that can post up. And he just turned that ankle. That left ankle came down on the heel of Hadley.
First on Hadley, first on Louisville.
Tunde played at St. Joseph Santa Maria out in California, a very talented player in high school. Was ranked number 9 in the SC Next 100. And, you know, there's been a history here over the last couple of years of guys that have come in and been one and done for Scott Drew, and everybody has put that on his shoulders. Now, he's handled it pretty well. He's averaging 18.5 points per game, almost 6 rebounds per contest, but he does it in a different fashion.
78% free throw shooter. He averages 19 points per game, also 2 steals per game. Conwell coming off a screen, shovels it to Hadley. In the lane, kicks it out. Brown hesitates, fires, and it's good. You back-to-back threes for Louisville.
You cannot defend against him with your hands down. And you show it a little bit, you drop him down just because he brings the ball down. He's going to go right back up to his shot. He's got a great release. His feet were set underneath him.
Meanwhile, Baylor without a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. Get a couple of free throws on the last possession. Shot clock inside 10 seconds again. And now it's at 3. Williams has to put it up. And Baylor 0 for 3 from behind the arc. And a couple of those have been late shot clock attempts. Conwell has it sent back by Williams. 2 on 3, and Carr has his pocket picked by Brown. What a great play by Michael Brown. Now he feeds through down floor, and he lays it in off the window.
They turn your turnovers into points, and they want to play out in front of you. It starts with the defensive end, and then everybody running their lane.
Carr fires inside to Powell. Got the defender off his feet and is fouled on the shot attempt. More free throws for Baylor when we come back.
I told you from the start of the game, if you haven't watched them, get to know it. They can shoot the ball from beyond the arc. They average almost 12 made threes a game. And early on, they've got it going here in Fort Worth. We are 2 of 3 inside the arc. They've also gotten to the free throw line 2 times already. Now they're going to go back to the free throw line for a couple more. Continue to try to be assertive and find a way of not playing just passively around the outside. There are good 3-point shots to be had, there's no doubt. But a lot of these 3-point shots that they've taken early have been late shot clock when you're having to hoist up an NBA 3-pointer because you were unable to get a paint touch. And the paint touch isn't just through the pass, it's off a dribble penetration. And if you can get one paint touch and you get that second paint touch, you usually have your defense in rotation a little bit. You'll find something good.
And they're 4-4 at the line as Powell hits 2. He'll come out. James Nagy will check in.
And I always say this, it's the first man I've ever written down on my game board. The 31st pick in the NBA draft.
Did not sign an NBA contract, played in Europe, played in Summer League. I bet you also have never written down part of the Towns Randall trade for a guy that's playing a college.
No.
3-pointer is good.
How fun is he? I mean, come on now. If you watch the video, just say you didn't pay attention all season long and you had no idea. If you just looked at an article online about Louisville from their last game, you'd know you got to be touch tight on Michael Brown Jr.
On the other end, Agbin trying to answer camp, but an offensive rebound by Ratai. Ratai spinning, putting it up and getting the bounce.
They need something from him. He has really struggled over the last 4 games, about 28% shooting from the floor, and a good scorer for Wayne Tinkle at Oregon State.
You mentioned, though, defending Michael Brown as the basket is good inside by Woolley. Before the game where he made 10 of 16 from 3, he was shooting under 30% from behind the arc, but watching the stroke and now the confidence growing, he's 12 for his last 18 from behind the arc.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that, Dave, had to do with the back spasms, right? And time missed. It's not just, we talk about games missed. How many practices were missed? And those practice reps are as important as the game reps.
Now, he missed 8 games. Can only imagine how many practices during that span. Williams gets inside and scores. Baylor back within 3. Nice screen set by Roots. And a foul called on Williams. He got tangled up with him. That is the first on Baylor.
I would say that there's no doubt that Williams fouled him. But he fouled him after Roots set an illegal screen. This is not a legal screen. Watch as he comes in there. He extends out and leans in with his upper body.
McNeely back on the floor. Started, played the first couple minutes. Brown keeps the defender on his hip. Long 2, short. Batted around, and a foul called on Louisville. It's going to go on Khalifa. That is his first, and the third on Louisville.
Well traveled, like many players are these days in college basketball.
Played at BYU. From Egypt. Played elsewhere.
Hey, very good passing big. I mean, they can use him as a point forward on the outside, which reminds me, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame came out with their finalist list. Marcus Johnson needs to go in the Hall of Fame. It is overdue that Marcus Johnson is not in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yesufu inside. Double clutches and then puts it in for his first field goal. Willie trying to shake Yesufu, steps back. 3 is too strong. Offensive rebound. Good hands by Ratai.
We got numbers here.
Ratai drive and kick. Spot up 3. Yesufu short. Long rebound Louisville. Kobe Rogers. And he was fouled. Going for the steal was Williams, and that is 2 fouls on Isaac Williams.
And that's tough because he's been their most efficient offensive player from the field today. He's been very aggressive. But a shot in transition from 3 when you're flattened out like Baylor was on that possession can lead to an easy run out at the other end of the floor. And you see when Louisville gets their hands on the ball, they're in go mode.
Second team foul. Again, both have come on Williams. 8 minutes gone by in the first half. McNeely, deep triple try. Off the heel. Long rebound tracked down by Agbim. Trying to poke it away is Rogers, and he commits a foul. The 4th on Louisville, his first. It'll be Baylor ball, a chance to retake the lead when we come back to Fort Worth.
It's a reason why college basketball is great. It's the reason why the Big 12 has been the best conference all season long, and the ACC the most improved conference from year to year.
And again, that is not all of the great freshmen in college basketball.
There's a lot.
Just the Big 12 and just the ACC.
And by the way, there's more from both of these 2 conferences that you could throw on that list as well.
And how many of those 10 guys are going to be picked in the top 10? Agbim inside, misses the mid-range shot.
7.
Rebound Hadley. That's only their second miss, Baylor. Inside the arc, they're 0 for 5 outside of it. Hadley, no. But an offensive rebound by Frew, who's been very productive as a rebounder and a scorer here in the first half. Got 2 offensive rebounds, 4 points. Entry pass, great defense by Yesufu.
Just great awareness by Yesufu, getting back to the big and then allowing his athleticism to get that deflection and then maintain possession. Cam Carr needs to get going though for Baylor.
Yesufu trying to back down, spin baseline, can't connect. Ball poked out and controlled by Conwell. They don't have numbers. They get a good shot. Rogers' 3 is short though. Can Cameron Carr get going? Here's Agbim, and another miss from 3. Out of bounds off of Louisville. Another second chance opportunity for Baylor.
Yesufu defensively, watch it, gets hung up on the screen and recognizes the switch, and good communication leads to putting you in great positioning. So when the switch is called, you stay back with the big, you get your hands up and allow your athleticism to get that deflection. That ball, if it has more, it's a little bit flatter and not as much of a rainbow pass, probably doesn't get to it.
Baylor down 1. Agbim with a blow by, got caught in the air and kicks it out. Carr hasn't scored yet, 0 for 2 from the floor. On the year, he's averaging 20 points per game, and he's got consecutive 24-point games.
That's Conwell right there. His defense, elite.
On the other end, he finds Hadley for three.
Now, part of the reason Cam Carr isn't scoring is he's not able to even take a positive step towards the basket because Conwell's just up in him and making him feel uncomfortable.
So Louisville is plus 12 behind the three-point line. They've made 4 on 8. Louisville team in both ends of the floor.
Very good defender. And then offensively, his ability to shift the weight and just make the simple play. He has set the table for a lot of really good, clean looks throughout the course of the season.
He's from Indianapolis. He was at Xavier last year, 3rd team All Big East. This is his 4th school in 4 years. Shot clock at 5 for Baylor. Ratai with a pull-up jumper off the front rim, no. And Frew with the block out.
Only 1 offensive rebound so far in the game.
And a foul off the ball by Pryor. Right in front of the Baylor bench. They erupted when Tony Padilla made the call.
It's a technical foul. You can't do that and give an opportunity for Baylor just to get more points at the free throw line. No free throws attempted so far by Louisville. There's already been 4, and none of them misses.
Don't know exactly why he got a technical. If he said something to the official, or if he was getting into it with some of the Baylor guys on the bench. But Pat Kelsey has taken him out. And Agbin gets the bounce on the free throw. So they are 6 of 6.
You see him right there on the right-hand side of your screen. Watch as he runs the floor. Says something to the bench. Tony Padilla hears it. And right on top of it. And you can't have those kind of mental breakdowns. I mean, all that is, you're just not being in the moment.
We'll have to ask Tony what he said, because that's not the only time we see that over the course of a game.
No, but there's usually words that when you hear them.
Sure. That's why we'll have to ask Tony exactly what was said. Another 3 from Brown, and it's good again. Man, he can't miss right now. He is 3 for 3 in this game and 13 for his last 19.
There's people that can't shoot 13 of 19 when nobody's on the floor. But he is in such a rhythm. Every time the ball comes off his fingertips from beyond the arc, doesn't it feel like it's going in? It looks good.
Agbin gets past him, though, defensively. Kicks it out for a 3 from Carr. Short. And Baylor is 0 for 7 from behind the arc.
Agbin should have shot that ball. He kicked it out to a contested 3. Look at that pass.
And another dunk for Frew. That is his 3rd bucket. Louisville has its largest lead at 7. And another 4-minute stretch for Baylor without a field goal. The only reason they're in the game right now is they have half of their points at the free throw line. Great defense. Oh, they're going to call a foul by Roots.
Good challenge, though. I mean, that's what you want. You want that challenge at the rim. They've done a good job slipping the screen. Powell has played strong and aggressive, and will get back to the free throw line.
Definitely was a foul. Baylor 6 of 6 at the line. Powell 2 for 2. 64% on the year. We got a lot more action for you on ESPN later today. The big one at 6:30 Eastern. Arizona lost this week to Kansas. We'll see if they're #1 in the country after today. If they beat Texas Tech, you would think they would be. Then you get Arkansas, Auburn, and Gonzaga, Santa Clara.
If you are a hoops junkie, stay up late, because that matchup between Gonzaga and Santa Clara wins that game, they'll be an at-large team, and the WCC could get 3 teams in the NCAA tournament field. And by the way, Santa Clara would also be in first place of the WCC.
What about with Arizona? If they beat Texas Tech, still #1?
I think so. Now, Michigan obviously made a huge statement. They won by 30 today over UCLA. They continue to blow out teams. I wouldn't be shocked to see Michigan, no matter what happens later on tonight, ascend back to #1.
Really?
Wouldn't be shocked.
Man, to make it this deep into the year without a loss, to lose against another top 10 team
on the road in Allen Fieldhouse.
Beat a ranked team later in the week. If they beat a ranked team later in the week and not be #1.
I didn't say that I don't think they should be #1. I said what the voters would do. I feel like I'm Joe Lunardi because he's always saying, like, I'm trying to guess what the committee is going to do. You're asking me to guess what the pollsters are going to do.
Bill Walton thought Joe Lunardi was the committee. Here's
a lot of things.
And he drills a 3. Finally, Baylor gets his first 3-pointer of the game, and it took almost 12.5 minutes. Conwell can't answer from deep. And tracked down by Najee.
More importantly, that's Cam Carr's first points of the game. And he's a guy that's averaging 20 points per contest. They need to get him engaged in this game. He has to hit at least his average for them to pull off the win against Louisville today.
5 quick points, though, by Baylor after it trailed by 7, its largest deficit of the half. On the back down, Ratai jump, gets in the lane and scores to tie it up at 23. 7 straight points. Our second tie. Conwell, hard screen set by Frew. He's got the smaller defender on him. And the shot clock inside 10. Roots with the back down. Carr body to body with him. Blocks the shot. Cameron Carr trying to give Baylor the lead here. 6.5 remaining in the first half.
The defensive transition by Louisville has been really solid so far. And they've done a pretty good job of forcing Baylor to have to play in the half court almost every possession.
Ratai done pretty well getting into the lane using his strength. That one spins out though. Najee underneath is fouled as he got the offensive rebound. And a chance for Baylor to have the lead, but we come back.
Cam Carr has had a special season. The transfer from Tennessee has ignited and found his offense. He finally finds it here late in the first half.
Some coaches treat like a walkthrough. Some coaches treat like practice. Well, at Louisville, it looks a lot more like a practice. But Pat Kelsey does something I don't think I've ever seen another coach do before. He wears a microphone, and there are speakers in here so that everybody can hear him. Now, he also has ruined his voice with all the yelling and screaming, and so maybe that's why he's got the mic on. But I thought it was really interesting and effective because he seemed to have everybody's attention all the time.
Well, and then his voice really does cut through, right? Like the assistant coaches aren't mic'd up. It's only he that is mic'd up, so that when he talks, it really does cut through cleanly. And I think that's, you know, he's a guy that wakes up early in the morning at about 4:30 every single day and wakes up out of bed going, how can I get my team better? How can I get myself better? And there's a reason why Louisville flipped so quick.
But they have given up the last 9 points. Najee driving, scores, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point play. It was 23-16 3 minutes ago.
Made 3-pointer by Cam Carr, and then getting to the free throw line where right now Baylor is 10 of 10 at the free throw line.
And Louisville has not even attempted a free throw. So Najee, who wears his first name on his jersey, James, gets the bounce. He's averaging 3 points per game, playing just his 12th game of the season since he was cleared by the NCAA after being drafted 2 years ago, the first drafted player ever to be cleared to play college basketball.
We've got 5 points here early. And Baylor needed his length on the back line and just fell asleep defensively there.
McNeely inside, and that ends a 12-0 Baylor run.
James saw the cut coming and then just let him go.
5 minutes to play in the first half. Baylor leads by 3. A must-win game for Baylor when it comes to getting close to the NCAA tournament bubble. Tough pass by Najee. Great save and a foul on Louisville.
That's a tough one because it's a loose ball that has been saved and thrown back in bounds by Yesufu on the end line. Good hustle by Yesufu.
And it ends up being the 9th team foul, so you get at
More
least
free
one
throws.
free throw out of it. Yep.
Yeah.
And again, they haven't missed. They're 11 of 11 at the line. The foul was on Woolley, his first. Meanwhile, just 2 fouls committed by Baylor, and both by Isaac Williams. And they stay perfect at the line. Now tonight on ABC and the ESPN app, the Women's College Game Day crew is at the Maravich Center in Baton Rouge, getting you ready for LSU and South Carolina, a pair of top 6 teams squaring off.
Joyce Edwards playing at an All-American level for South Carolina, and Don Staley. And Don Staley's team has dealt with multiple ACL issues, and it's just next person up mentality, and they've had a great season once again.
A 14-2 run by Baylor to take a 5-point lead. Tough entry pass by Brown. Roots couldn't handle it, and it's a Louisville turnover.
And now you see Louisville extend out their defense. The key for them going to be down the stretch here, Dave, is to play defense without fouling. Baylor finally got up to 40% shooting, but if you clog the paint, they've only made 1 of the 8 threes that they've taken so far in this game, and you keep them off the free throw line, you'll be fine.
13 of their 30 points have come at the foul line. Great look for Cameron Carr, but the 3 is short. Baylor just 1 for 9 from behind the arc. Carr made the 1. Here's McNeely, who averages 12 points per game. Made over 300 career threes in his career. Khalifa in the lane, has it knocked away by Ratai. Ratai has come up with a couple of strips.
They expected a lot more than what he's delivered so far coming out of Oregon State. And mentioned it earlier, but averaged 17 points and 7 rebounds a game last year for the Beavers.
Ratai using his strength to again back down the defender. Spins on Woolley and rattles home the 10-footer.
That's just playing with poise and confidence. I understand the advantage that you have as far as your size and strength goes, and just get to your spot and then patiently get to the rhythm of your release. Don't rush it.
3-pointer from Khalifa, no good. But a foul inside on Baylor. Just the 3rd team foul. The Bears in the middle are just 1 for 9 from 3, but perfect at the line. Louisville hasn't even attempted a free throw, and it's a 16-2 Bears run over the last 5 minutes.
Michael Brown Jr. just got popped, and no foul called whatsoever. Tony Padilla talking to him as you watch as he goes under. He tries to. Tony Padilla's right on the call. He said you hooked underneath his arm, and you're the reason why his arm came up. And Michael Brown said, "No, I didn't do it." It was 100%.
It was Caden Powell that he got tangled up with. Shot clock at 5. Hadley got underneath the defender and scores, and that pulls Louisville back within 5. Inside 3 to play.
One of the big differences in this game, Ratai and Najee on the season, they're averaging 9.3 points per game. They already have 11 here in the first half combined. It's bench contributions and guys stepping up and just starring in their role. That's all you need to do.
Another late shot clock situation. Ratai has had success backing down his man in this situation. Now he puts it up with 1 on the timer, almost banked it in, and it's boarded by Conwell.
I think you've got to find a way to get Mikel the ball more. Like he has only attempted 3 3-pointers here in the first half. He has made all 3 of them, but it has been a long time since the last time he got a look.
He doesn't have a 2-point basket. He's 0 for 3 from inside the arc. Agbim picks up his first personal, 4th team foul. So still a couple more to give for Baylor in the final 2:20.
This is a matchup that I think you could take advantage of if you're Louisville.
And he does. He gets past Ratai, but he blew the layup. A foul is called, though. So free throws for Brown. The first of the half for Louisville as a team.
Yeah, anytime you get that switch, you just, as a guard, your eyes get really big, especially if the paint is wide open and there's no shot blockers on the back line, and nobody was in position to rotate over to stop him.
Second on Ratai. And Brown, an 82% free throw shooter. Against NC State the other night, he tied a school record, scored 45 points. Wes Unseld in 1967 for Louisville scored 45 points. That matches what the great Wes Unseld did. Plus, He surpassed Cooper Flagg for the most points ever by a freshman in the ACC. Cooper Flagg had 42 in a game last year.
This season has been wild with the number of 40-point games that we've seen from freshmen. A.J. DeBonta, Kingston Flemings, Keaton Wagler.
Three-point game as Baylor gets it across the timeline.
I'll admit sometimes we overhype freshman classes. There is no overhyping of this year's freshman class. It's real.
One of the best we've seen in a long time. And there have been some excellent freshman classes the last 2 decades. Carr off the bounce, hoists and puts up an air ball from behind the arc.
They have struggled from beyond 3.
Conwell, his 3 too strong. Long rebound, Carr looking to push tempo. And a foul call as Carr hangs and tries to get the basket against Conwell. That's 2 on Conwell and 10 team fouls.
Cam Carr out in transition, athletic, long. Conwell comes over, and as he comes over, he jumps into the body of Carr, and that's what got Carr to the free throw line. But if I'm Baylor, I mean, if I'm Louisville right now defensively, Dave, I'm going to change up the defense a little bit because they've been guarding beyond the 3-point line. I would play heels to the 3-point line. Don't extend the defense past the 3-point line. Your opponent is 1 of 10 from beyond the arc. They've had no consistency whatsoever there. Get back, clog the paint, stop fouling, stop giving up trips to the free throw line. They're 14 of 14 here at the foul line.
First attempt for Carr. Just 1 of 6 from the field. 1 of 5 from behind the arc. 15 of 15 at the free throw line. They have 15 points at the line while Louisville has 2. But Louisville's made 5 threes, just 1 for Baylor. Adley, high dribble, no turnover, and he scores inside. Seven points now for Hadley, Colorado transfer. Coming off the screen, Agbin. Now Carr watched by McNeely. Inside a minute to go. Late shot clock again. 5 on the timer. Carr puts up a 25-footer that's no good. Offensive rebound, Agbin. Yesufu, jab, step, and fire. Another missed 3. Offensive rebound again, this time by Powell. Goes back up. He misses. Hadley clears. About a 4-second difference in the game in shot clocks here at the end of the half. Louisville ball down 3. A deep try. He is 4 for 4 from 3.
That was from the logo.
14 for his last 20 after a 45-point game. He's got 14 with a second left. Agbin misses, and the buzzer sounds. We've got a tie game at halftime. Michael Brown Jr. has been spectacular. They had a total of just 9 in that first half. Yesufu 1 of 5 from the floor. Carr 1 of 7, and a combined 1 for 9 from 3 for those 2 guys. But they're tied. Now they've been close with a couple of great teams the last 2 games. Unable to beat Iowa State despite being in that one. Lost by 3, then lost by 5 to BYU.
You got to eventually get over the top of that hurdle.
Louisville goes inside, and missing an easy one is Hadley. Now a 5-on-4. Baylor hurries. Isaac Williams played limited first half minutes because of foul trouble. Another missed 3. That one by Agbin. Brown down court, his first 2-point basket of the day.
But again, the transition off of the long rebound. We've seen that throughout the course of the first half. Missed 3-point shots leading to runouts at the opposite end of the floor. Baylor just 1 of 13 from deep.
Each team had a 7-point lead at one point in the first half. Now it's Louisville by 2 in the opening minute. This neutral site game between Baylor and 24th ranked Louisville. Hesitation by Yesufu, but it doesn't matter. He drains a 3.
If you're Louisville outside of Brown, you need Conwell to get engaged. 1 of 5 shooting in the first half.
Three-pointer from Conwell, in and out. That made basket by him came really early in the first half. He goes to his right hand, his offhand, banks it in, plus a foul.
Yeah, that's a smart move. You're struggling to shoot the ball. You're 1 of 5 from deep on the game. You've got a big man closing out on you, and just take that lane line and straight line drive it right down there and apply pressure on the back line and get fouled and get to the free throw line.
Louisville didn't get to the free throw line until about the 2-minute mark in the first half. They're already at the stripe here, less than 2 minutes into the second half. Foul was on Powell, his first. The free throw is good. 2-point game.
Now, you mentioned it in the first half. It's worth mentioning again. 31 points, 6 assists versus NC State on 10 of 14 shooting for Conwell.
Here's Yesufu at a 37-point game for Baylor. Baylor's last time out. Williams driving and able to get inside of his defender, McNeely, and score. And now Hadley running the floor. Again, Louisville getting out in transition and having success.
The transition defense right now needs to pick up for Baylor here. To start the second half, you can really clearly see what Louisville wants to do. They're going to look to push and play ahead as much as they possibly can.
Hadley with 9 points, basically at his average on the season. 41-39 Cardinals. High post, Carr trying to get inside, and a tough shot, missed it. One and done for Baylor. No second chance opportunities. Brown no look to Conwell. Conwell gets into the paint. Brown off the dribble. Foul. A 3-point attempt, so it'll be 3 free throws for Brown as Powell picks up his second foul.
You just can't do it. First of all, why are you going under a screen on Michael Brown Jr.? And then as a big man, you close out and you land in his landing zone. That's a clear foul, and it's going to send him to the line for 3.
45 points to tie a school record in Louisville's last game. He's got 16 points here early in the second half and a chance to add 3 more.
I just don't understand why you go under. You got a trail on that, and you've got to show. You've got to extend up and be attached to the screener, show, force him to go lateral, and allow the trailer to get over the top.
ABC women's basketball doubleheader tomorrow afternoon with Duke and North Carolina at 1 Eastern time, followed by Texas, currently ranked 4th, taking on number 22 Tennessee in Knoxville. Both available on the ESPN app as well.
That Texas team got challenged by their head coach after their most recent loss and said that they were soft. I would anticipate that that was a message, not only because they lost the game, but to try to make sure that their focus and the attention to detail at practice over the last couple of days going into that Tennessee contest is locked in.
Brown makes all 3 free throws, so Louisville is 6 of 6. Baylor is 15 of 15. At the foul line here, 2.5 minutes into the second half. Louisville back up 5. Long pass, Carr saves it and then throws it into the backcourt.
Defensive intensity starting to pick up here a little bit. I mean, just Louisville's playing with better energy out of the half. And they've been able to push in transition. They've been active defensively. And that time you pick your dribble up in an area where you've then got to throw a diagonal cross-court pass all the way to the opposite corner. And it just went all out of whack after that.
Isaac Williams going to the bench. Played just 11 first half minutes, as we mentioned. Not as impactful because of foul trouble as he had been in previous games.
Just face guarding Brown wherever he's at. Yesufu is just standing there. They're not helping off. This is a 4-on-4 possession.
Hadley deep paint, challenged by Najee and sent into the Louisville bench. I know he has not been great, Sean, in his previous 11 appearances, but some of the things we've seen from James Najee here today, you understand why he was the 31st pick in the draft 2 years ago. It's still weird to say that, right?
It's crazy. It's just nuts. But it's where we're at, so why not? All right? But no, this has been his best game that he's played so far. There's no doubt about it. He's made an impact in this game.
With 1 on the shot clock, Brown got it away but couldn't finish.
He didn't feel like he had enough time. I think he had more time than he thought he did to maybe get into a natural shooting motion.
Agbim turns it over. Brown with the steal. Brown leaves it for the trailer, and through with the slam.
It's just a smart play. You initiate it with your defense. You get out in front of everybody. You read that. You see the big man coming. You know where your trail man is, and you set him up just to finish easy.
Michael Brown, one of the most impressive freshmen in college basketball. Just seems to keep getting better. He missed about a third of the season with a back injury. Oh, man, is he a talent. Foul called here on the Yesufu shot that was short. He'll go to the line for 2.
To your point, Michael and what he's able to bring. He can impact the game defensively. Just jumps this passing lane quickly. Knows he's going out of bounds. Finds his guard. Gets it back. Reads the defense. And sets up a big man. That is a huge play at both ends of the floor by a player that just, he's elite. You know, he's special. And you talk to Pat Kelsey and you say, listen, I was on a bench coaching a guy by the name of Chris Paul. There was a rare specialness about him. I'm not saying that Michael Brown Jr. is Chris Paul, but there's a uniqueness when you coach that kind of talent. And you see that their buy-in is where you want it to be. And for all intents and purposes, the back spasms, the time missed, all of that stuff is fine. When he's been on the floor, he has been special.
Congrats to CP3 on a great career. Announced his retirement earlier in the week. 2 more made free throws. And now 10 for 10. Inside as Najee gets another defensive rebound, blocking out through. Baylor ball down 5, 4 minutes into the second half.
Conwell just short-arming it a little bit. It is incredible to think 23 consecutive free throws made in this game.
Carr slipped, lost his footing, then lost the ball. Brown, great pass ahead. Hadley with the dunk in transition. Louisville matches its largest lead of the day.
How much more of their offense in the second half in the first 4 minutes here has come in the open floor than what we saw in the first half?
Going into the paint, Yesufu. It wouldn't fall, but he was fouled.
It's defense once again leading to offense. Louisville has turned things up here to start the second half, and by turning up the
points and 4 assists, as Louisville has retaken a 7-point lead to match its largest in the first half.
And one of the things that is a staple and stands out, if you think about the fact Louisville assists on 61% of their field goal made on the season, that's 12th best in all of college basketball. So far, 14 out of 18 made field goals have come off of the assist. The ball movement has been crisper for Louisville, where Baylor's played a lot off the bounce. Only 4 assists on 11 made field goals. And you can tell that they played off the bounce because they continue to get to the free throw line.
Although we have our first miss of the game, Yesufu missing the first one. Baylor was 17 of 17 prior.
I mean, it just speaks to what Don Staley has built and the consistency that the Gamecocks have had, because LSU's been a great program. And Flau'jae Johnson back again this year. They're going to need her to have a big game tonight. She usually likes those big moments, and tonight will be another opportunity.
6-point lead for Louisville. 5 minutes gone by in the second half. Here's Brown, has been spectacular. Spins against Yesufu and lays it in. What an incredible play by Michael Brown Jr.
Shift the defense, spin off, no help, no rotation. It's just elite court awareness and ball handling.
It's his 7th 20-point game, a Louisville freshman record. Williams knifes through the lane, and Brown reaches in to commit the foul. His first and the 3rd team foul.
You know, last play, just watch the way he plays with the ball, and like he dips his shoulder and then just spins right off. And Yesufu, who's noted as a good defensive player, especially for a freshman, just took the bait. And Brown Jr. knew he had him on the line and got exactly what he wanted.
He is from Orlando, Florida. Michael Brown listed at 6'5". Williams hits the first free throw for Baylor.
James Najee's talking to him, be like, man, I played against a bunch of guys who were just like you a couple years ago.
But not in games, just in summer league in Europe. We have to We have to give that caveat each time.
Listen, I think
didn't actually play in an NBA.
I think too much has been made out of all that stuff anyways. I mean, so many of these international players have played at the professional level overseas. So, like, to get irate because somebody did it here in the United States, I mean, come on.
McNeely can't get his shot up. Oh, what a fake. Entry pass. Hanging and scoring is Pryor. That was all set up by Khalifa with the footwork and the dribbling.
The unselfishness continues to be on display with the way that they share the ball.
Tough pass. It somehow got to Yesufu, but Woolley hits the deck and they get Yesufu for an offensive foul, his first.
That's a tough angle to try to throw that entry pass in there. But again, forcing the issue. One team, it's been a little bit easier for. The other team is trying to find their rhythm still offensively. 20 of the 44 points have come at the foul line for Baylor.
2 for 14 from 3. They've been able to stay within striking distance throughout the game, but now a chance for Louisville to take a double-figure lead for the first time. Brown calls for the screen. On the switch, Najee's got him. Brown finds the shooter, Conwell, and it drops to make that Woolley. Hits the 3, and it's an 11-point game.
Just a beautiful find off the screen. You watch the way the defense, they stayed more connected that time. They were showing, they were trying to make sure that he had multiple eyes on him and hands. And you bring 2 to the ball, that means somebody's got to be defending 2 when you found the open man.
7 3-pointers for Louisville. Yesufu, tough angle, hit the side of the backboard, loose ball. Yesufu gets tied up with Pryor. It's going to stay with Baylor because of the possession arrow, but the shot clock's at 5. Conwell will check into the game for McNeely. Agbim, who has not done much for Baylor, will check in.
On this play for me, with 5 seconds, you either want Williams or Yesufu catching the ball and being able to make the play. They're most comfortable off the bounce.
Agbim will inbound. Gets it back from Najee with 3 seconds on the shot clock from the logo. Williams can't knock it down. Najee got the offensive rebound. And they're going to call Najee. They're going to call a foul inside on Louisville.
The funny thing is Louisville thinks the foul's against them. It's not.
I thought it was on Najee originally.
I mean, like literally, Pryor is who that drew the foul, thought that he had fouled him on the floor prior to the shot, and yet the officials gave him the call.
So first on Najee. Originally was going to say Najee, then I saw the celebration as Conwell gets to the bucket, and Louisville is stretching now to a 13-point lead. And this is where the missed threes again and again by Baylor coming back to hurt them. They're going to have to find a way to get unlocked if they're going to get back in this game from deep.
Well, and you go back to this last play. Watch Pryor just goes in and he's holding his arm down. He's holding I mean, that's a foul on Pryor. Pryor knew it was a foul on him. Then even looked at the official afterwards and was pointing to the floor like it was on the floor, right? It wasn't on the shot. And they're like, no, it was actually against James Najee, and he smiled and started going to the other end.
Pryor kind of has that William Zabka Cobra Kai thing going with the blonde hair and the headband. It's a good look, Sean. You should try it.
I have a headband at home, but Capono stole all of it when I was at UCLA.
So 57-44. 12:58 to go here in the second half.
So here's the appeal. The appeal is on the hook and hold underneath. So they're trying, Scott Drew and his staff are going to try to go back to that play.
Okay.
And get a hook and hold assessed on Pryor. I mean, it's clearly a foul on Pryor. I don't know how they thought that was on Najee.
Right.
Now, to be a hook and hold, there's definitely a hold. I don't know if there's a hook.
Right. He definitely holds the right arm, but he's not hooking inside.
Right. The hook and hold is designed so that you cannot get underneath someone's arm and pull them to the ground or get over the top and lock them in and like pull their shoulder. What I see there is a simple hold that is preventing him from jumping and going after the ball that should have been adjudicated upon him. It was not. You can't retroactively go back and assess that foul unless they go to the monitor and they can see the foul and say, hey, we missed that one. But is it a hook and hold? And the officials are going to say there's nothing there, that there is no hook and hold. There was just a hold. And on Valentine's Day, it seems appropriate. You just want to reach out and just hold somebody.
But don't hook.
Yeah, no hooking, just hold.
Let's see what kind of response Baylor has, if any, down 13. Now, they got down 7 early in the first half, and they went on a 16-2 run. Can they do it again?
They can. And here's how they have to do it. They have to start valuing the basketball. They have to keep applying pressure in the paint and get to the free throw line and stop shooting three-point shots. There are certain games where you go out there and get not in a rhythm. This is one of those games you're not in a rhythm.
They also need Yesufu and Carr to get going. Yesufu is 2 for 7. Carr is 1 for 8. Carr isn't even in the game right now. They double Williams. Shot clock down to 6. Here's Yesufu with 3 on the timer. Step back triple try, no good. And it's knocked out of bounds by Louisville.
Louisville's defense has done a great job of forcing Baylor to have to execute in the final 10 seconds. Like Scott Drew talked to his team today, shoot around, said, guys, we want to play fast. We want us to be able to score out front. If not, we've got to be comfortable scoring in the final 10 seconds. But it's not even the final 10 seconds. It's the final 5 seconds. And often the ball's well beyond the three-point line. Very rarely they've been able to create off the bounce and find a seam.
Another miss by Agbem. He has no field goals in the game. 0 for 6. Meanwhile, Pryor is shaken up. There is a foul called on Baylor. Ratai slapping at the arm, and that's his 3rd foul. 15 foul on Baylor. So checking back in is Cameron Carr.
Yeah, this is the moment where you'd want to see Baylor try to figure out. Now, not only can you find rhythm in your offense, can you start to be disruptive at your defensive end of the floor? Can you start to create some turnovers and some opportunities to run out and play?
Khalifa shovels to Woolley. Driving, got past foul, but he couldn't lay it home. And an offensive foul called over the back on Khalifa.
Just outstanding offense.
Add 2 more points for Louisville. They called goaltending on that last play. Even Khalifa thought they had called an offensive foul on him. He looked upset, but count the basket for the Cardinals, and they have their largest lead of the game. Out of the timeout, Baylor gets a layup. Isaac Williams taking it all the way to the cup.
Rare opportunities to find a lane and get downhill quickly. But Williams has been the one guy offensively that has been able to score off the bounce.
He's got 10. Entry pass is picked off by Agbin. Agbin finds Ratai. 4 quick Baylor points.
And that one coming off a turnover. They can ideally create extra possessions off their defense. That's going to really benefit them.
They had not had any fast break points at all this game, and Rogers sends it into the 4th row.
Like there is bad passes, and then there's that pass. I mean, that one wasn't bad. That's just forcing the issue a little bit. But the Rogers pass, I mean, he threw that 10 feet over the top of the bench. A lot of times we get excited about plays that make the Sports Center top 10. That could make them not top 10.
Carr's got the ball. He's just 1 for 8, 5 points, 1 of 6 from 3.
Conwell's played outstanding defense on him just from the start of tonight's game.
Powell trying to turn the corner, spins into the lane, goes to the left hand. Carr underneath, got the rebound. They're going to call a foul, I think, on the shot attempt by Powell. Yep, it'll be 2 free throws.
Since the last timeout, all 3 shots that Baylor has taken has been inside the paint. You had Williams with the drive, then you had the run out and Ratai, and then that time Powell. And the more that they can Baylor can force the issue of getting inside, the more often you're going to probably find yourself at the free throw line, which has been great for Baylor in this game. 20 of 21 from the free throw line.
They made their first 17. Now they've missed 2 here in the second half. 4th team foul on Louisville. It was on Frew, his first. McNeely back in. Still a chance to make this a 10-point game again. So 5 straight points for Baylor during the midway point of the second half. This is a must-win game for Baylor. When you look at their record, 13-11, 3-9 in a great conference. They've had some close calls, but they need a win to get back on the bubble. Hadley draws contact from Agbim, and he'll go to the line for 2. 2 fouls on Agbim, 6 team fouls. But for Baylor, Sean, as you watch the replay of this, they're 14th in the Big 12, and you said earlier Big 12 best conference in college basketball. But you'd have to think that they need a signature win to have a shot.
They do, and I think that as you look as the season closes out, there's a few opportunities left. Obviously, Arizona at home, on the road against Houston. Those are going to be games that pop off, and you say, okay, those would be great opportunities. But you win this game here, and then you win some of the games coming up that you think, hey, we should win that game. We're playing good basketball. We can maybe go into Kansas State and beat Kansas State, Arizona State at home, and can we beat UCF on the road? Like, all of a sudden you get to 18 wins, and you're probably in the NCAA tournament field before it starts because of the quality of what this win would mean. If you don't win this game, that margin just starts to continue to shrink.
Into the tournament 5 straight years. They turn it over on this possession. Hadley in the open floor. And Yesufu comes in. There was a lot of contact. I think he was trying to commit the foul before Hadley got into his motion. And they didn't even blow the whistle. Count the basket for Hadley. And a timeout by Scott Drew.
And then you're on the road against North Carolina and Clemson, and you end the season at Miami. The difference is from the last couple of years. Look at 4 teams, 5 teams for 3 consecutive seasons before you have to go back to 2021 to see 7. There's 8 teams projected this year. And part of that reason is great hires. The ACC has made great hires across the board. And obviously Pat Kelsey's one of those. And we've talked on so many of these coaches, the legends of the game that have shut it down in recent years. Well, now we're talking about the new excitement that is being created on these campuses, whether it's at Miami, North Carolina State, Virginia in particular this year. And the depth of this conference is a big part of why they're performing better.
Good play out of the timeout by Scott Drew. They get it to Yesufu on the low block. So he's got 12 points now, and it's a 12-point game. Yesufu had 37 in the game against BYU earlier this week, the most by a Baylor freshman in almost 2 decades. More free throws as we have another Baylor foul, and that is 3 on Isaac Williams.
And now it's one-on-one the rest of the way for Louisville, so they can be even a little bit more aggressive and just slow walk this thing all the way down and get to the free throw line and manufacture points.
They're 8 of 8 from the line, 6 of 6 here in the half after just 2 attempts in the first half. And finally, Louisville's first miss. One more for Conwell, is an 84% free throw shooter.
And to tie a bow on the ACC, the most improved conference from year to year in wins in the non-con against the other Power 4 conferences was the ACC this year. Most improved. It wasn't the best. Big 12 actually had the best winning percentage, but the most improved was the ACC. And a lot of that, as we showed the freshmen earlier, when you make the right hires and you invest in basketball, players follow. And the talent is up this year in the ACC.
How many true national title contenders in the ACC? Yesufu hangs and banks it on.
I think there's 1.
Duke?
It's Duke.
So much improved, yet still just 1 true in your mind national title contender.
Yes. Obviously Carolina had a great win, and then they lose. Those great hands by Michael Brown Jr. Another steal for him.
He's got 5. Open 3, McNeely. Carr blocks it. It looked open, but then Carr was able to block it. Carr upset that a foul wasn't called on Louisville on the other end.
A good job just closing out, getting a fingertip on it. Here's the thing with that, Dave, is you look at it and you can say, well, the difference between these two conferences are the top of the Big 12 is stacked with teams that the metrics, the analytics, the net rankings, the eye test, everything checks off, right? The ACC is not nearly as top heavy. It's more balanced, and that's part of the growing process of getting this conference back up to the level in which everybody expects it to be.
So Carr called for a foul. He was asking Scott Drew for them to replay that because he thought he was getting held. And because that is team foul number 8, it'll be a 1-and-1 for Louisville. Javon Hadley, a Colorado transfer, 66% on the season. He is now 3 for 3 today at the line. And more time on the bench for Cameron Carr. It's been a rough go for him today.
Right, like just absolutely frustrating. You can see it in his body language.
5 points, 1 of 8. He had 24 points in each of his last 2 games. A big reason why Baylor was in those games against Iowa State and BYU till the end. Obi Agbim has been very quiet as well. 0 for 6 from the floor, just 4 points. So he and Carr combining for 9. Yesufu has 14 on the game. Ratai for 3. Not even close. Baylor 2 for 17 from 3. Brown quickly down floor, missed the shot. He's on the floor, so Baylor has numbers if it can hurry up the court. Yesufu will launch. Here comes Brown.
The struggles from deep continue, and eventually you would hope that the players on the floor would say, we've made runs in this game, how do we do it? Getting in the paint, getting fouled, finishing around the basket. When Louisville started extending their lead, how'd they do it? Well, we settled for 3-point shots, they rebounded, and then they ran out and scored at the other end of the floor.
Tough pass by Brown, got caught in no man's land on the jump pass.
That's the area he's got to clean up.
Great step through and finish by Isaac Williams. Back to 11. Plenty of time.
The one thing about Michael Brown Jr. is sometimes he throws these one-handed flipper passes, and you lose a little bit of control. They sail on you. He tries to put it through small windows that he doesn't need to.
Hadley on the back, down to the shot clock, inside at 10. Now Brown with a timer at 5. He'll fire a 3, and that hit the backboard and nothing else. He was 4 of 4 from 3 before that bad miss. Yesufu down court, hangs and scores, and Baylor's got it down to single digits at the 7-minute mark. Timeout Louisville. Bears making a move late.
Well, trying to be aggressive, trying to get downhill when your defense can create turnover opportunities, gives you a chance to run. Baylor needs a lot more of that in the final couple minutes here to try to steal a victory. I'd like to shout out everybody that's in our control room taking care of this game. The from graphics to audio. Wish them a happy Valentine's Day.
Out of the timeout, Louisville gets a layup. Conwell, and that stops the bleeding, or the short-term bleeding, where Baylor was able to climb back into the game. Louisville back up 11, 6.5 to go in the second half. Williams drives, stripped, but a foul. 15 foul on Louisville, 3rd on Khalifa. Free throws.
And Baylor's got to continue to force the issue. And, you know, look, manufacture points. It has not been fluid. It hasn't been great offensively. You're 2 of 18 from deep. And they're going to call this on the ground.
Yeah, they're going to say or assume that Williams was going to pass the ball. .6:32 on the clock. And another foul. That looked like a lot of acting from Williams. They get Brown for his 2nd personal, 6th team foul.
If you like free throws, this is going to be a game that you will absolutely love in the final 6 minutes and 30 seconds, because I have a feeling we're going to see a ton of them.
They've already had a lot here this half. Total of 18 attempts between these two teams. Carr with a pocket pass. Powell tried to challenge Khalifa, and Khalifa caught his
3 fouls on that one trip down the floor against Louisville.
And Khalifa's got 4 now as well. 2 free throws coming up here for Powell.
I mean, 3 fouls in 1 possession or 1 trip down the floor, and now you've got free throws the rest of the way for Baylor as well.
Powell is 5 of 6. Baylor's 21 of 23. Sorry.
If you're Baylor, would you take a shot outside the paint the rest of the game? I wouldn't.
No, keep pounding the paint.
I mean, right? I mean, that's your only option with the way this game has gone, is to manufacture points. Whether they're going to break down so you can score inside the paint, or they're going to foul you and you can go to the free throw line.
And the officials have shown you how they're going to call the game here down the stretch. They get the offensive rebound. Ball pinballs after the block, but it ends up back in the hands of Yesufu. 10-point game, Baylor ball. And a clock issue.
And Baylor's upset about it because they had Brown Jr. on Ratai, and they were going to work one-on-one, but the clock malfunctioned, and so they stop it, and that's going to allow Louisville to rectify the mismatch that they had.
They now say Khalifa has just 3 fouls, not 4. I was wondering why he was still in the game, but they're saying 3 fouls, not 4 on Khalifa. Cameron Carr will inbound, just 5 points on 1 of 8 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3.
And they reset it all the way up to 24. They're saying that means that they're saying that possession was exchanged.
Just a terrible turnover there by Baylor on the inbound pass.
You can't do it. I think Scott Drew would have rather stayed at 14 seconds and allowed them to go one-on-one in the matchup that he liked than obviously what just transpired.
Brown looking to go one-on-one against Yesufu, takes it all the way to the basket and scores again. He's got 23.
You know what I love about this game? The 3-point shot was great in the first half. The 2-point shot wasn't. Second half, they extended out. They're being touch tight on everything. They're not giving him any clean looks. He's taking what the defense gives him, and now he's scoring inside the paint off the bounce.
He's got 68 points his last 2 games. Ratai scores inside. Good pass by Carr. Down to 10 again, nearing 5 minutes to play. Brown again driving. This time passes it out. Hadley's 3 is there.
I want the ball in number 0's hands as much as possible. Man, does he make the right read over and over and over again.
He's got 6 assists. Meanwhile, a basket by Williams, +1. Another free throw for Baylor coming up. That's 4 on Khalifa.
Apply the pressure, keep attacking. Rinse and repeat if you're Baylor.
They're just 2 for 18 from 3, while Louisville is 8 of 18. But to your point, they're staying in this game with free throws. Free throw is good for Williams, so he completes the 3-point play, makes it a 10-point game once again. They got it down to 9. Conwell into the front court. They're going to trap him. He lost the ball and turns it over. He raced into the front court, got sped up, it looked like just a little bit, and then he turns it over.
And just trying to understand where he was going and what he was trying to do. They didn't have a numbers advantage. He's dribbling towards basically an extra defender, which is the out-of-bounds line, and ran out of real estate.
Yesufu puts it on the floor, hangs, can't bank it in. The tip won't go, but another foul. If that's on Yesufu, he's gone.
I think that's going to be against Louisville. We got free throws.
Yeah, it's going to be on Conwell. It was either on Khalifa or Conwell. They were both around the basket. They're going to get it on Conway as 3rd. See him grab a hold of the left arm there of Ratai, who will be at the line for 2, as that is going to be a 1-and-1 actually.
How about the fact, he was 4 of 14 from the field over the last 4 games. And now he's up to 11 points.
Guess they did say it was in the act of shooting. Coming up later tonight, we got 3 more games for you. Number 1 Arizona trying to bounce back from the loss earlier this week. It's first of the season, taking on Texas Tech. And it's Arkansas and Auburn, followed by Gonzaga at Santa Clara.
Arkansas, obviously, Darius Acuff Jr. having just a tremendous season for Arkansas. Alan Graves, a very talented freshman, playing for Herb Sendek, who could be an NBA first-round pick this year. 6'9". He has been playing some great basketball.
Another offensive rebound as it's tipped out to Williams, driving baseline. Baylor has it down to 9. Big possession here for the Bears. Cameron Carr has really struggled. He averages 20 points per game. He'll take it strong, miss the shot, hit the deck, no whistle. Now a Baylor foul. Free throws on the other end. This is on Powell, his 3rd.
I think Carr he's just trying so hard. Like, you know, he's a guy that transferred from Tennessee, was not really an offensive player at Tennessee, and has emerged here to be a 20-point per game guy. And today, the defense of Louisville and how they've really just made him feel uncomfortable. He forced the issue that last time down the floor, completely out of control.
Barely played at Tennessee, 18 games in 2 years, but Scott Drew recruited him coming out of high school. Thought he would be able to be a good offensive player. They missed the free throw.
A lane violation?
Yep, on Baylor. So another shot here at a 1-and-1 for Brown. 82% free throw shooter. He's got 23 points.
6 assists, 5 steals. Like, what a game. You watch him play on TV, and you know, a lot of times I'm in the studio or whatnot, I'm trying to watch him. He's one of the best players in the country. And then you see him in person, and you know, sometimes it doesn't live up to what you think it is. And sometimes it exceeds. Consider it exceeding.
Yeah, today's the latter for sure.
Yeah. Just so impressed with his composure.
Brown gets them both. 75-64 Louisville. Getting near the point where Baylor can no longer trade baskets with Louisville as they've done here in the last 4 minutes. Yesufu attacking, goes at the chest of the defender. Missed. Powell has it knocked away. A clean strip by Roots. Out of bounds, Baylor ball.
Well, you mentioned you can't afford to trade, and you also can't afford to have too many empty possessions if you're Baylor too. I mean, both are true now, and the margins of coming back and winning this game is kind of similar to the margins of trying to get in the NCAA tournament as an at-large team, right? Every time you take a loss, it dwindles. Every time you have an empty possession, more unlikely.
Williams with a timer down to 3. Falling away, connects.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great.
Isaac Williams up to 17 points now. And this after, in the first half, just 4 points in 11 minutes because he had 2 quick fouls.
Now Louisville can be much more deliberate, and they're going to try to elongate their possessions.
Brown again breaking down the defender, backs it in with the left hand. He's been able to do whatever he wants against Yesufu. He's up to 27 points now after 45, tying a school record set by the great Wes Unseld. And he has backed it up with another gem. And a timeout by Louisville with an 11-point lead.
The shot clock winding down. Identify the spot you know you can get to, and then just trust your touch. All of it, 27 points, and facilitating the offense and putting his teammates in a position where on the catch, they are ready to score.
He also has 5 steals, and his team is up 11 at the 3-minute mark, trying to win their 5th in a row and get to 19-6 overall. Shot clock inside of 10. Conwell spinning, and another foul. That'll be 4 on Isaac Williams. Well, Michael Brown missed 8 games due to a back injury. He was pretty good before the injury, but after the injury, he's been spectacular. And you know, at this stage of the year, mid-February, a lot of freshmen. I hate using the cliche hit the freshman wall, but it's true. A lot of guys do at this stage of the year, and you wonder if that time that he missed in a strange way may end up helping Louisville because he's fresher down the stretch.
It could be, and the time where they want this team to be very much so clicking is going to be in about 4 weeks. ACC tournament champ week right around the corner, and of course right off that into the NCAA tournament.
Lead is back to 13 with 2.5 to go. Have to treasure every possession down the stretch if you're Baylor. Tough pass by Carr, but it ends up in the hands of Agbin, who still does not have a field goal. He is 0 for 7.
And then you just put it in the closer's hands. Just allow him to have the ball in his hands and make the right decision. Let the shot clock bleed down.
And he doesn't make the right decision.
Wow.
Gets trapped and throws it over the head of everybody.
Never mind, scratch that. You know, they bring a double team. I like that, actually, the idea by Scott Drew to try to just get the ball out of his hands. You double team him right away. And I just have no idea who he thought he was throwing the ball to.
Williams attacking, draws a foul. He'll shoot 2. That's on Brown, his 3rd. So a chance for Baylor to get points with the clock stopped. Baylor 24 of 28 at the foul line. 9 of 13 in the second half. Williams 3 for 3. So 5 missed free throws in the second half after a perfect first half. McNeely back in. Roots to the bench for Louisville. Second free throw rattles down.
The press is going to show up. This press was actually pretty effective against Iowa State last Saturday. And they fought their way late in that game back into it.
Tracking down the ball in the front court is Frew. And now Brown will settle things down. Williams has got 4 fouls, so even though he's chasing the ball, he does not want to commit a foul. Brown directing traffic, and again throws it away on the skip pass.
See, remember when I said sometimes he does those one-handed passes where it just like this is Achilles' heel? I mean, he's throwing this thing all over the court right now, and his coach is saying, hey, settle down.
Another opportunity for Baylor maybe to get it to single digits with 1:40 to go. Gotta have it possession. They don't get it. Williams misses a 3. Najee trying to get the offensive rebound. Yesufu out of there with it. They need it from Carr. They don't get it. Long rebound again. Yesufu. Carr to the basket. Met in the air and blocked. A killer empty possession for Baylor. And then a foul committed that will send Conwell to the line with 1:16 to go. Time now for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Phillips 66. And that is Michael Brown Jr., who sets the Louisville freshman record with his 7th 20-point game.
That's 72 points, if my math is correct.
It is.
In 2 games. Just an unbelievable week. And he should be the national player of the week.
You think about how great Cooper Flagg was last year. Scored 42 points, the most ever by a freshman in the history of the ACC. And in about 12 months, Michael Brown Jr. has eclipsed that record. And backed it up with a 27-point day. It's hard to score 20 in a 40-minute game.
Yes.
And he's closing in on 30 for the second straight game.
That's what makes this class so special and so different.
Williams, nice finish with the left. Baylor trying not to foul in the backcourt, just trying to get a steal. They can't. Again, Williams can't foul at all. He's got 4. Hadley in the high post will kick it back out. At this point, don't foul if you're Baylor. You wanted that long of the possession, right? Don't wait till 13 on the shot clock.
They've done this a couple times. They did it last Saturday against Iowa State, where they take a lot of time off the clock and then they finally foul. And it was about 17 seconds. I actually talked to Scott Drew about it earlier today, and kind of similar situation against BYU late in that contest. And if you're going to foul, you got to make the commitment to go and do it. You try to trap in the backcourt, and then once it gets to a point where it's crossed that timeline, if you're going to foul, everybody's got to be on the same page and know it. And honestly, I understand what you're saying about Williams and the foul trouble he's in. There's 47 seconds left to go in this game. Even with 4 fouls, if you're the guy that's there, you've got to take the foul.
28 points now for Brown. Make it 29. Baylor needs 3s. They've hit just 2 the entire game. A season low by far. Their previous season low was 5. 13-point lead for Louisville. Williams lobs. Najee with the slam. But 2s are not going to get it done at this point. And Louisville has been spectacular at the free throw line in the second half, but they keep turning it over. That time it's Conwell over the head of Roots, allowing Baylor to stay within striking distance. Although, again, at some point, a 3 is going to have to drop, like right now.
You gotta let it go.
Yep. Yesufu will.
Oh my.
That should do it. Well, Louisville, really impressive performance today, led by Michael Brown Jr. 29 points after 45 in his last game. 74 in a 2-game span. You mentioned it. Needs to be considered for National Player of the Week. Might win it the way he's played.
You're not going to convince me that anybody had a better week than Michael Brown Jr. did in college basketball this week. For Louisville, they get the win against North Carolina State. They follow it up with a neutral site win against Baylor as they're on their Texas tour. They have SMU coming up next. But Michael Brown Jr. was efficient from the beyond the arc in the first half. He made his living of getting his feet set underneath him. Didn't matter if they were closing out. His release is so compact, so quick. In the second half, teams started closing. Baylor started closing up and trying to close that window on that gap. He said, well, let me just get out and run and show off my athleticism. A phenomenal, validating game off of that 45 to come back and put this kind of performance on the road. And for Louisville, another big win, and just this is an improver in their seed line. This is an important game, and it will be an important game when we get to March in the NCAA tournament.
And if you're a team watching Louisville, thinking about if we have to play them in the NCAA tournament, you've got a guy who can go out and win you a game, maybe more. And we've seen Michael Brown prove that over the last 2 games.
The credit, too, is the defense overall for Louisville. I mean, they were disrupted. They didn't allow